When you walk up to the vehicle with the key, the vehicle can sense this key fairly far away. But as we walk up to the vehicle, it'll sense the key at a certain point. And then it'll unlock the doors. There's a little light that turns on here. There's a light that shines here on the ground. So here on the handle, we have some interior lights on. We have exterior lights on. So we have the tail lights, the headlights, and all that stuff. Just by sensing the key. There's a little light on the key as well that flashes when it senses it. Now this little light here on the ground, this doesn't really illuminate enough light on the ground to serve as an approach light. The way this headlight switch works is basically it's a soft touch button. It can sense your hand as it gets closer and gets a little bit brighter. Right now it's an automatic. You can press the mode button to change it to regular headlights without the automatic. Parking lights, press it again, turns off all the exterior lights. Press it again, it goes back to automatic. Now it doesn't have fog lights, but it has this all-weather light. We can press that and it'll go ahead and turn that on. You can toggle it on or off here. So if you turn off all the headlights right now, if you try to drive, it will actually allow you to drive with all the exterior lights off. So it doesn't turn on any exterior lights when you put it in drive. So that's pretty interesting. And now I have the parking lights on. And you have to hit the switch, the ignition switch, to keep it on. Otherwise, everything will turn off every time you get out of the seat. So this is the parking lights, and it's basically this accent lights here. And not only do you have the accent lights here around the headlights, but you also have it, just the whole thing. Let me turn the brightness down because you can see it kind of blowing it out. They're kind of bright on camera, but you're not going to mistake these for headlights or anything. But they look pretty cool. The emblem is also illuminated. It's a really big, cool emblem. You can see it kind of has an accent light here. The tail lights wrap around to the side of the vehicle, serving as a side marker as well as tail lights. And they go all the way across the vehicle, looking really nice. Once again, let me turn the brightness down so you can see. They're nice deep red. They look a little bit orangey on camera, but they are a nice deep glowing red and fairly bright as well. Tag lights are also on now. Turn signal here in the front. It's very bright amber color light here. So let's turn the brightness down here because it is bright. Man, it's blasting my eyes here. So yeah, it's an amber in color. Definitely not going to miss that. Nice bright light here in the front. And it basically takes that lower portion of that white light and just flashes it amber. So it's just really cool looking, nice and bright. There's also a turn signal indicator here on the side mirror, amber in color. It's visible from the front, the side, and the back. And the turn signal is this rather puny red turn signal. It's not that, I mean, it's bright enough so you can see it, but it's kind of small. The front is all impressive, but the back is kind of, I don't know what to say about that. You can see it, I guess, but yeah, you'd think it'd be all impressive like the front, amber in color in the back as well, but no, it's red, and it's basically just the brake light basically turning on. Now there is a third brake light in the top of the glass in the rear spoiler, and then the reverse lights are integrated into the tail lights. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on the headlights here. So these are a projector, they call them the IQ lights, projector LED, and this serves for the low and the high beams. The all-weather light is right in here. You see that little reflector right there? That's the all-weather light. But yeah, this little projector right here is for your low and the high beams, but there's an additional light that turns on when you have the high beams on. So it's not just one light. Even though there's one lens, there's actually more light there. And we'll see when we're going on dark road, I'll show you that. Okay, so let's turn on that all-weather light so you can see the difference there. Kind of shines a little bit close to the vehicle. We're bright. I don't know if you can see it, but they're on the sides there. Turns off. So it's mostly in these trees area. So yeah, that's supposed to just kind of help out in it as an alternative to a fog light, basically. So the low beams have a cutoff. So there's about 6 feet off the ground. As I lower the camera, about 3 feet off the ground is where the cutoff is, right about there. So you can see where most of the light is. Okay, so let's go to the high beams. You can see the pattern there. So it's basically looking here is basically the same thing. You're not going to see anything different when the high beams are on by looking at the front of the vehicle. It's actually, you know, additional lights that shine through that same lens. But yeah, pretty cool. Accent light and everything. So cargo lights, actually pretty good for what we have. We have these 2 bright LED lights under the liftgate, and those are the primary lights. You have this little light here on the side, which helps out, but these just illuminate not only the ground around, completely around the entire back of the vehicle, all around here is illuminated. But it also, you know, sends light into this cargo area. And I have the 3rd row folded down. So the cargo area includes that space. So if it had more lights, you know, back here, it'd help out a little bit. But considering the interior lights are not on, so, you know, the interior lights are supposed to shine in the 3rd row. But it's just the cargo area, just that light does a decent job of just illuminating this side. I wish there was one on the other side. But these right here are super bright, and they just illuminate this whole area just in that little cargo area. So yeah, I think these are adequate for sure. I would be happy with these. The 3rd row seat, once again, I have these seats folded down. It has a light that shines in this lap area, and they come from that center part there. And it shines on the ground or the floor there. And then the 2nd row has lights there in the center, and they do a good job of illuminating the ground, the seats, everything. And inside of the doors, there's a USB port, accent lights, all the buttons there are backlit. There's also floorboard illumination here as well, in addition to the interior lights. The interior lights shine on the floor good, but that additional light kind of helps out. But there's no puddle light or anything, but look at some of the light kind of shines out here as well. So I guess that kind of helps a little bit, but there's no dedicated puddle light. The inside of the front door, no puddle light once again. And we don't really have any pocket lights either, but we do have the backlit buttons there. This little light right here is coming down. This is the accent light. It turns red when the doors open. I got it set to blue right now, but when you open up the door, it shows red. And you have the backlit buttons there. Once again, floorboard illumination. And then we have these lights here, which mostly just shine in the lap area. Since we're dealing with a driver, potentially could get light in the, in their face. Those are just mostly focused on the lap, so they're not as widespread as the back. But they do illuminate the floor a little bit as well, and that center console as well. The charge port, sometimes it has a light right here, but sometimes it doesn't. Like right now, the vehicle's off, and I have the key in my pocket, but for some reason, the exterior lights will turn off if I walk away from the vehicle, but there's no light here. So there's a little white light that turns on sometimes. I've seen it during the day, but there's no, you probably can't even see what I'm talking about because it's so dark. But yeah, the charge port doesn't have a light that turns on all the time. I guess it just turns on when it wants to. This is what it looks like with the door open, so you can see the interior lights here. And once again, it shines in this area and not so much back here. All right, let's go ahead and shut the door. Interior lights fade out. And we have a subtle floorboard illumination. Let me turn the brightness up on this camera so you can see a little bit better. It's a little bit brighter than natural eyes, but at least you can see it. But yeah, we had the accent light set to blue. And then you can see there's the screen, steering wheel, it's all backlit. Floorboard illumination looks good. So yeah, I like that blue color. We can adjust the color. I'll show you that in a second. There's a little screen here. There's a wireless charger here with USB ports. There's a little compartment that's illuminated with the ambient light, or the mood lighting, or whatever you want to call it. Glove compartment does have a light. Looks good. There's these compartments in the center console that are not illuminated. So let me turn on the interior lights again. So there's no lights in this. This center console is removable, so it doesn't have any kind of like, you know, electricity or anything. So you will have to rely on the interior lights to see in these compartments here. And these cup holders right here. No lights or anything there. So the ambient mood lighting, you can adjust it. And so there's different colors here. Let me turn the brightness back up here a little bit. And so right now we have the blue. So let's go to infinity. So it's kind of like a orangey color. There's like a teal color there. Desire is what we originally had, blue. Then there's a red. I call that euphoria. Vitality, which is like a yellow color. And then you have a custom color. You can customize here. So you have these color 1 and color 2. So let's go to green for one color. And let's go to red for the other color. And so we can see the different colors here. So we have green here in the front. And then red there in the back. All right. So yeah, then we have the brightness here, which you can adjust independently different places. So that up, that up, that up. Let's go to that brighter. Everything bright. Then there's the mood, brightness on that. Bring that up, bring that up. All right. You can also turn off the mood lighting if you want, or have it automatically linked to the drive mode. So yeah, I think the blue looks pretty good. Kind of like goes here under here, underneath the screen. Now the camera system works well at nighttime. You can see all around the vehicle. It's not super dark right here, but you know, you can get an idea of how well the camera works here. It's not like super sharp and clear, but you can see, you know, you can see it's kind of blurry and stuff. It's just the nature of this particular camera system. But you can see as far as the brightness, if there's any objects or cars around you, you'll be able to see them. So yeah, the cornering lights are basically that all-weather light. If you don't have the all-weather light turned on, basically they'll turn into a cornering light. So when you turn the steering wheel in that direction, it will turn that light on. If you can see that. There's the left side. The headlights also move left and right. So as we drive, you'll see them moving a little bit. So there's the headlight pattern on a fence. So you can see the pattern and you can see through the fence there. There's the high beams, there's the low beams. And there is a little bit of a shadow on the oncoming lane. So that's intentional. So just in case there is a glare from a rainy road, you know, the road has rain on it and it's reflecting lights and stuff, that kind of stuff. It keeps it from, you know, reflecting off the road and hitting people in the eyes, oncoming traffic. So it gives a little bit of a, you know, a shadow for the oncoming lane, basically, for glare and, you know, deviations in the road, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it looks like that shadow. Let's see when we go down this hill here. It's not a super sharp one, but yeah, it does line up mostly with the oncoming lane. Slightly in my lane, but it's okay, I guess. But yeah, just right now, I can automatically tell. The thing about this vehicle, it has good visibility. You know, so the seating position and the windshield and everything. So I can see close to the vehicle and I can see on the sides of the vehicle really well. with these low beams. They're not super bright, the low beams, but I can see, and there's a little tiny bit of patchiness on the road, but not a big deal. But it does an excellent job of filling up space on the sides of the vehicle. Now, I don't have the all-weather lights on right now. I'll turn those on, and I'll just toggle those on and off in a second when we get on a little bit darker spot here. You can see the motion of the headlights slightly here as I'm turning. And it moves that shadow as well. So, yeah, it doesn't move that much. I mean, to me, the motion headlights, they don't really add much. But they're not really necessary. Okay, so let me turn on the all-weather lights. Okay, so there they are right there. So they do kind of help out close to the vehicle. In this darker area, they're more noticeable. All right, so let's see. Wait for the cars to pass here. All right, so now we go to the high beams. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, these are really good high beams. So that additional light with 2 projectors, unbelievable how well these work with just 2 projectors. Yeah, because I could see the trees in the distance and everything. So basically, we just still maintain the low beams. We're just adding those high beams there. And wow, okay, yeah, very, very good, very good headlights on this vehicle. I can see the trees. I can see everything. And they're nice and bright, and when there's not a car coming, I'll look at it again, but it goes down the road just very far. Yeah, the distance is excellent. The left to right visibility is excellent. The road is illuminated great. So yeah, these are really good headlights. So yeah, once again, Volkswagen has improved their headlights here. So yeah, definitely impressed with the high beams. Low beams are pretty much standard. I mean, they're good and everything, but man, those high beams are impressive. Yeah, look at that. Hopefully you can tell. But yeah, these are fun. Good visibility here. And does also have the automatic high beams, which seem to work fine.